Why did the Mars rover break up with its girlfriend? Because it said she had too much space issues. Now let's dive into the Martian Chronicles of Sol 1852. On this particular day, our adventurous rover, Curiosity, embarked on a journey that, by human standards, might seem like a leisurely stroll around the block. But on Mars, a 20-meter traverse over rugged terrain to an area with exposed bedrock is no small feat. It's like hiking up Mount Everest, but without oxygen, food, or a Sherpa guide. Now that's what I call a busy day. As if the journey itself wasn't challenging enough, Curiosity had to deal with power constraints. It's like trying to run a marathon with your phone battery on 1%, only your phone is a multi-billion-dollar space robot, and your charger is millions of miles away back on Earth. Despite these hurdles, Curiosity had a full schedule of activities planned. Among these were observations of bedrock targets and a uniquely named block, Ripon. Now you might be wondering, why Ripon? Well, turns out the scientists at NASA have a wicked sense of humor. They love to name Martian rocks after small towns on Earth. So somewhere in the vast expanse of the Red Planet, there's a rock named after a small city in Wisconsin. That's right, Ripon, you're famous on Mars. And so Curiosity trudged on, leaving behind a trail of Martian dust and an intriguing mystery. What compelled our little rover to journey to this specific bedrock? What secrets did it hope to unveil? And that's how our little rover ended its 20-meter marathon. But wait, there's more to this Martian day. Ever heard of a robot taking pictures of rocks for fun? Well, that's a day in the life of Curiosity on Mars. Now let's dive into the real action. After a bit of roving around, Curiosity drove over 20 meters to a place where the bedrock was bearing its heart out, exposed and ready to spill its secrets. Our rover, ever the diligent investigator, decided to snap a few shots of the scenes. It's not your everyday photo shoot though. Curiosity used the Mars Hand Lens Imager, or MAHLI, to capture images of a very photogenic bedrock target named Balfour. You might be thinking, just a bunch of pictures of rocks, what's the big deal? Ah, my dear listener. These are not your average holiday snaps. These images provide valuable information about the Martian surface's composition, structure, and history. It's like Curiosity is a detective, and each rock is a clue to the mystery of Mars. Now, on to the next step, the Alpha Particle X-ray Spectrometer, or APXS. Yes, it's a mouthful, but don't be intimidated. Just think of APXS as that friend who pulls an all-nighter before an exam, cramming in as much information as possible. As soon as the sun set, APXS was placed on our rock star, Balfour, for an overnight integration. This is essentially a long, intense study session where APXS analyzes the rock's chemical elements. Imagine APXS, huddled over Balfour with a flashlight, scribbling notes and muttering to itself, silicon, oxygen, aluminum, interesting. It's like a night owl student burning the midnight oil to understand the composition of its subject matter. All the while, Curiosity is standing by, cheering it on. You got this, APXS! Those rocks won't know what hit them! So, after a long day of rock staring, our rover was ready for some serious science. Ever wondered what a robot's midnight snack looks like? Well, it's not pizza or ice cream, it's sand! That's right, folks. On Sol 1852, our favorite interplanetary explorer, the Mars rover Curiosity, had a task that's a far cry from your average late-night munchies. It was all about feeding Sam some sand, and by Sam, we're talking about the sample analysis at Mars Instrument, not some Martian named Sam who happens to have an appetite for grit. Now this wasn't just any sand, it was a sample from the exquisite Ogunquit Beach, or rather the Martian version of it. But here's the fun part. Gathering this sand wasn't as straightforward as building a sandcastle on your summer vacation. Oh no, Mars had some tricks up its sleeve. You see, there was a bit of a hiccup. The drill, which is usually as reliable as your morning coffee maker, encountered an anomaly. Let's imagine for a moment that the Martian sand got a bit stubborn, refusing to leave its home. It's as if it said, "Hey, I like my spot here. Why should I go into your fancy SAM machine?" But as we all know, Curiosity is not the kind to back down from a challenge. So, after some perseverance, the much-awaited drop-off to Sam was planned for the next day, Sol 1853. Talk about a cliffhanger. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal about feeding Sam some sand? Well, it's not about Sam's dietary preferences. Instead, it's all about the Sam Evolved Gas Analysis, or EGA for short. This is where the magic happens. Sam starts to analyze the sand, giving us valuable insights about the Martian surface. It's like a detective story where the sand is the witness and Sam is the detective, unveiling the mysteries of Mars. So what's next? Well, we're all biting our nails in anticipation for the results of the EGA that's set to be conducted on Monday. Will the Martian sand spill some secrets? Only time will tell. And that's how Curiosity spent its Sol 1852 feeding Sam some sand. Remember, even on Mars, there's no such thing as a boring day.